Hello, everyone. Strap in as we dig deep into one of the most monumental games that has shaped the face of modern gaming, Minecraft. Imagine it's 2009. The world of gaming is bustling with high-octane shooters and strategy games, and out of nowhere comes a quiet indie project started by a single person, Markus Persson, also known as Notch. This game didn't feature flashy graphics or a high-concept storyline. Instead, it offered a blocky, procedurally generated world where the only limit was your creativity. Minecraft started as a humble project, but it quickly grew into a phenomenon, allowing players to build, explore, and survive in a pixelated yet infinitely expansive environment. It has since evolved, fostering a community that spans the globe and crossing over to various media and educational platforms. Today, we're going to dive into the pixels of Minecraft's humble beginnings, its impact on gaming culture and education, and look at how it became the cultural titan it is today that continues to inspire millions to build their worlds. So stay with us as we craft our way through the story of Minecraft block by block on today's episode of A Trip Down Memory Card Lane. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope these words find you well. Hello, and welcome to the 192nd episode of our video game history podcast, A Trip Down Memory Card Lane. Each week, we'll tell you a story relevant to the current week in gaming history. It can be about a game or the people that have created it. It can be about a console or the technology that brought it to life. We often talk about the companies that bring it all together, making our hobby, video games, a reality. While telling you each story, we hope to teach you something new about the topic, what it took from the world as its inspiration, or what it gave back to the world in its legacy today. Today, we're digging into the pixelated world of Minecraft, a game that revolutionized the way we play, create, and learn in a digital space. First released to the public in May of 2009 by indie developer Markus Persson, Minecraft began as a simple sandbox game, but quickly grew into a global phenomenon that influenced gaming, education, and even pop culture. I'm David Casson, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host who's been stuck in the nether since last Tuesday. He's my brother, Rob Casson. Rob, have you managed to find your way back, or should we send a search party after you?
Well, I don't know if you're going to find your way, Dave. You need to build a crazy contraption to get here.
What kind of contraption do I need to build?
Some kind of doorway, but with magma or something.
A doorway with magma? Why
Sure.
magma?
Yeah, that sounds right. I totally know Minecraft.
So you use magma to get into the your nether regions?
Damn straight, Dave. It's the only way.
That sounds hot.
And also joining us is a man who claims he found diamonds in Minecraft without a pickaxe. He's a legend. He's returning guest Ryan Shepard. Ryan, you gonna share your secret, or is that just another minor detail? Okay.
Well, a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell, but I gotta say, having achieved those diamonds in that way, it's a real notch in my belt.
God darn it. That was a good one. That was fantastic. All right, you both got good ones today. Rob, I believe I'm gonna throw it after you. What happened? What's this week in current gaming history like?
Well, on April 28th, 1980, Nintendo released the first in its iconic Game & Watch series, Ball. Now 44 years since its debut, Ball introduced players to simple yet addictive gameplay, where the player juggles balls in the air by moving the character's arms. This handheld device not only marked the beginning of Nintendo's venture into portable electronic games, but also featured the first appearance of what would later become the company's mascot, Mr. Game & Watch. The release of Ball was a pivotal moment in gaming history paving the way for the development of more complex handheld gaming systems and influencing the portable gaming market significantly.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah.
how are you at juggling balls these days?
Well, so I actually have a story about that. I wanted to get this back in the day, but my mom said that we have ball at home.
What was ball at home?
What was ball?
It was just a ball.
Damn. That'll do it. That'll do it.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Mom.
And speaking of balls, on April 30th, 1999, Pokemon Stadium was released by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64, marking its debut 25 years ago.
That was good. I'm really sad at myself for missing that.
You should be, Dave.
I am.
This game was notable for allowing players to battle their Pokemon in 3D, a significant evolution from the 2D sprites used in the Game Boy versions. Pokemon Stadium featured various tournaments and a range of minigames, making it a beloved addition to the Pokemon franchise. Its ability to connect with the Game Boy games for additional features, including importing Pokemon for use in battles, set a precedent for interconnectivity between platforms in the Pokemon series and contributed to its enduring popularity.
Wait, Rob, so was Pokemon Stadium the first time y'all got to see Pokemon in 3D? Other than, like, the cartoon?
Yes.
Interesting.
Other than the cartoon, yes, it would have been Pokemon. Unless, I would have to see when Snap came out.
Oh, that's a valid point.
I would have to look and see the release date of Snap. It's either Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Snap is going to be your first, because both were released from the Nintendo 64.
Right.
But one of those two is definitely going to be your first 3D look, other than the anime.
That's what it is.
Okay, Dave. Keep telling yourself that.
Do they call it an anime?
Do they call
that's
Dragon
not
Ball
really
a cartoon?
3D. It's not really 3D in that it's not 3D animated, but obviously they, show them in a lot more detail than the games did back in the day.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, move on.
On May 1st, 2002, Bethesda Softworks released Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, now 22 years since its debut. This installment in the Elder Scrolls series brought significant advancements with its expansive open world and rich, deep lore, offering unprecedented levels of player freedom in character customization and in-game decisions. Set on the island of Vardenfell in the province of Morrowind, the game is praised for its intricate plot and the high degree of interactivity with the world. Morrowind's release marked a pivotal turn in RPG development, influencing numerous other games in the genre with its emphasis on storytelling and world building. And if you want to learn all about how the Elder Scrolls series started, we just covered the first game in the series, Arena, a few episodes ago. Let's go check it out. On April 29, 2003, South Korean company Wizit launched MapleStory, a groundbreaking free-to-play 2D side-scrolling MMORPG. Introduced 21 years ago, it was among the first games to adopt microtransactions as a significant revenue model, establishing the freemium gaming framework. You bastards.
I know.
Celebrated
Thanks.
for its vibrant art style, engaging gameplay, and strong community ties, MapleStory's release marked a pivotal moment in online gaming, influencing the evolution of the freemium model in the gaming industry. Since its inception, MapleStory has seen over 180 million registered users and has been enjoyed by gamers all over the world.
I had a MapleStory account.
I did too.
Not I.
Very, very briefly. I never spent any money on it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Damn. Well, y'all didn't get caught in yet, or at that point. But look where we are now. On May 4th, 2007, coinciding with the movie release, the Spider-Man 3 video game was launched, bringing fans of the web-slinger into a digital New York City that stretched across various gaming platforms. Developed by Treyarch and published by Activision, this action-adventure game allowed players to experience the challenges and story arcs of Peter Parker as seen in the film, with additional villains and narratives exclusive to the game. Celebrating 17 years since its release, Spider-Man 3 was notable for its expansive open-world design and dynamic combat system, marking a significant point in the evolution of superhero video games. And we covered the origins of Spider-Man and an assortment of Spider-Man video games back in episode 176. So head to our website if you'd like to learn more.
Yeah.
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 For our last look into this week in gaming history, on April 29th, 2008, Rockstar Games released Grand Theft Auto 4, a pivotal entry in the renowned open-world action-adventure series. Now 16 years since its debut, GTA 4 was acclaimed for deep narrative, expansive game world, and groundbreaking advancements in game design. Set in the fictional Liberty City, based on New York City, the game introduced a more realistic and detailed environment than its predecessors, along with a complex protagonist, Nico Bellic, whose dark, engaging storyline captivated gamers worldwide. GTA 4's release significantly impacted the gaming industry, setting new standards for storytelling and gameplay mechanics in video games.
Sounds like someone's playing Grand Theft Auto outside in my house.
That's just a normal day around my house, Dave.
Yeah. Fantastic. Grand Theft Auto 4 was a good one.
Oh, absolutely. You had that. I think it was the Lost MC was one of the DLCs you had for it. The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great set of games there. I really enjoyed those, and it paved the way for 5, which still to this day is one of the
Greatest ever.
greatest ever.
Second best-selling video game of all time.
No biggie.
So, gents, Markus Persson created his first video game, which was a text-based adventure game, when he was 8 years old.
Damn.
He couldn't even save the game, so every time the computer was switched off, he'd have to retype it in.
Wasn't that kind of normal?
That was the way we did it back then.
Yeah.
The story, he said in a 2012 interview, was kind of random. There were 4 or 5 different rooms, and one of them was your typical spaghetti western themed room. Because yes, there was a typical spaghetti western theme.
What was that, just like where they would shoot each other with spaghetti guns?
That's exactly what it was like.
Nice.
They would just shoot each other. Guy would fall down in a pool full of noodles and pasta
Bolognese.
sauce and bolognese. Yeah. Pearson's also known as Notch. In case I'm gonna mix it up, so we'll just get that out of the way now. His online screen name was Notch. He went by Notch everywhere. He's known as Notch everywhere. So we're gonna go with, I don't know. I'm sure I'll slip in and out. So Persson, his whole programming education at this age was thanks to early computer magazines. His sister would read out the code listed in the magazine, and Persson would type it out on their Commodore 128. Not the 64. It was twice as good as the 64, if you couldn't tell by the number.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
That Commodore 128 was purchased by their father. He was, as Persson once described him, a really big nerd who actually built his own modem for that Commodore. Pretty cool. Like so many of us, Persson was a fan of the seminal first-person shooter Doom, so much so that he actually reverse engineered its entire engine, an accomplishment he considers second only to his creation of Minecraft itself. And
Only second, huh?
Only second. And at that point, by the time Doom had come out, it's 94, 95, Persson knew he wanted to be a video game designer. But his teacher advised him to go into graphic design, which he did. He studied it for the required years, and that eventually led to his first job as with a small web company as a web designer. But after about 6 months of web design, the .com crash happened, which, if you weren't around for the .com crash, the early internet boom fell flat on its face, and suddenly all the companies of the internet They all went belly up because there was no more money in the internet.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
I remember reading about that in the history books.
Right. Yeah, we read about it, aka we lived it. Ugh. Persson then found himself working for a software company called Game Federation, making middleware for digital distribution. Here, he met Rolf Jensen. In their spare time, the two started developing a 3D MMO called Wurm Online. Have either of you ever heard of Wurm before?
I feel like it.
I've heard of worms, but I feel like that's not related.
No, it's not. In all honesty, I don't know how this one kind of fell under our radar, Rob, because I think we should try this in all honesty, because it looks like our type of game. It's still available today. The website for Worm Online describes it as a sandbox MMORPG that has pushed the boundaries on what it means to be an open world and has stood the test of time. In it, you have the freedom to enjoy a vast, persistent universe where you can freely explore, build, and shape the environment to your liking. From constructing structures and settlements to terraforming the land and creating intricate canal systems, Worm Online provides a deep sense of immersion and creative freedom. I took all that from their website.
And do you play as a worm?
No, you play as people. Like it looks like a survival game that's an MMO.
So why worm?
I don't know the answer to that. I did
Hmm.
not dig that far.
Good one.
So Worm first hit its beta stage in 2003, and it was officially released in 2006. A year later, Markus Persson left the company. During much of that time when they were working on Worm, Persson also worked as a game developer for a web-based game company called Midas Player. You probably know it better by its more recent name, King.com. At King, he helped create Flash games at a rate of about one new game every 2 months. He estimates in his time at King that he made between 25 and 30 Flash games.
Wow.
Right? And despite the fact that he was now making games, he really wasn't making games, you know?
I mean, I don't know. Those Flash games were a lot of fun.
Yeah, there
I
were
thought
some
they were
fun
games.
ones. He did, however, write in an interview that the one thing his time at King really taught, I mean, it helped him become a good game developer in his opinion. And most importantly, it helped him learn how to finish projects, which it ended up being which is a very valuable trait for any of us that work on game development. So yeah, it was not wasted time. And while he worked at King, he continued to work on his own projects like Worm Online in his spare time. But when the higher ups at King found out, they banned him from working on his own projects, which he didn't
How?
want to do.
How? How?
Yeah, I
Like
know.
on company time, I could understand, but if it's on
Yeah,
his free time, screw off.
yeah, I know. So he quit around March of 2009. He joined a company called J Album, which is like what is J Album? Like an online Java photo album type company?
I was gonna expect it was like Japanese album,
Mm.
like K-pop, but J-pop.
The nice thing about J Album, K-pop, was that they allowed him to keep working on his own personal projects. J Album was not a video game company, so they didn't care if he made video games in his spare time. And it was at this point when he finally broke free from King and went to J Album that brings us to the origins of our topic today, Minecraft.
Always got
It
to break away from that patriarchy to get what you want.
gotta break free of the man to get to the good stuff. In an October 2009 post on Persson's Tumblr, of all places, he made a blog post labeled The Origins of Minecraft. On that post, he describes looking through some old project folders and finding an old game prototype of his that he called RubyDung. Ruby, like the color, and Dung. RubyDung. Now, RubyDung was supposed to be a base building game similar to Dwarf Fortress, but with a heavier focus on accessibility. He describes envisioning an isometric 3D base building game that blended Dwarf Fortress with Roller Coaster Tycoon. While working on the game, he experimented with a first person mode, but when he took the isometric and brought it into first person, he felt that the graphics were too pixelated and he didn't like the look, and he ended up omitting a first person mode from his project. At the same time, he was also playing around with the idea of making a zombie game with graphics similar to Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. They're bringing it back around to GTA, Rob.
No, thank you.
Well, putting it all together, he found a game called Infiniminer. How about, we didn't know Wurm Online. Do we know Infiniminer? Me either. Okay,
Negative.
cool. I know, right?
Nope. New to me.
So, Infiniminer is an open source, multiplayer, block based sandbox building and digging game made by Zach Barth of Zachtronics fame. Rob, you like Zachtronic games, don't you? Like Space Chem and I bought a bunch for you, didn't I? Also the one about programming with circuits. What was that called?
Oh. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I didn't know. I mean, I wouldn't have ever been able to tell you the Zach Barth by name, but
Ryan,
yeah.
have you played any Zachtronics games like Space Chem?
Not to my knowledge.
You'd probably really like as a puzzle guy because they're puzzle games, but they're based in reality. Like one of them, you literally have to. The puzzles are learning how to code analog, like for analog circuits. So you're actually learning how to do that as the puzzle solutions for the game. Like it's teaching you while putting it into a game format. Space Chem is really good. You'd like Space Chem. Like I said, as you love puzzle games, you would like Zachtronic games. So you should look them up.
Puzzle games are definitely my jam. Hey, real quick, can we circle back? Did you say it was RubyDung was the one of the prototypes?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't stick with that name.
They didn't stick with a couple names, honestly. So Infiniminer, you play as a miner, no surprise, searching for minerals by carving tunnels through procedurally generated maps and building structures. Barth wrote it in his free time with a friend. They released it in incremental updates between April and May of 2009. And the idea was that it was going to be a team-based competitive game where players would locate and excavate precious metals and then bring them to the surface to earn points. But he released it before he kind of forgot to change the coding in a way that didn't make it easy for people to break it down into source code. So during that month, people did just that. The source code of the game was leaked, and Barth was so discouraged by that he decided to discontinue all further development on the game. But that wasn't before Persson got his hands on it. He played multiplayer and he said that he had a blast but found it flawed. Building was fun. What they found is as people played it, they started building more so than searching for minerals. Not a surprise there. But Persson saw the building was fun, but there wasn't enough variation. What he literally wrote in this blog post was, "My God, I realize that this is the game I want to do." So Infiniminer is the direct inspiration for him to start creating Minecraft. He felt that it would benefit as a fantasy game in that same style. So he tried to implement a simple first person engine, reusing some of the art and code from RubyDung. And as a result, he came up with what was the first mock up of what would soon become the most popular game in the world. No joke. So a month later, he literally put it down in like a weekend. He planned it and everything, sat down, coded it in a weekend. And on May 17th, I had it down for May of 2009, but there's an exact date that I found eventually. So, I'm not perfect. May 17th, 2009, Persson released the original edition of Minecraft on the TIG forums, or the Independent Game Source forums. And we're going to talk about what happened just in a moment. But first, I'd like to take a moment and tell you all about Zencastr, the easiest way to record a podcast, hands down.
With Zencastr, it's super easy to record a podcast. Everyone logs in using their web browser, and you just start recording a high quality podcast right away. It allows you to record up to 4K video with your guests, and with Zencastr's multi-layered backups, you always have the highest quality recordings, even if your connection is unstable.
And with Zencastr, you never have to worry about what you sound like. Zencastr's post-production process is super easy, and it makes you sound buttery smooth. You select a bunch of options in the menu, like get rid of filler words, get rid of long pauses, get rid of cross noise, set the podcast loudness level, and then you just click produce, and that's it. When it's done with its production, it emails you that it's ready. You go there, you click on it, and you can pull the file wherever you want, do whatever you want. You can even put it together in Zencastr itself. It's super easy, all with the single click of a button.
And if the thought of podcasting overwhelms you because you think you need tons of different tools and services, you can relax. Those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can do all those crazy things that Dave just mentioned, all in one place with one button, and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations.
So if you'd like to start your own podcast, or maybe you want to take your current one to the next level, we've got a deal for you. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our offer code MemoryCardLane, and you'll get 30% off the first month of any Zencastr paid plan.
Sign up for Zencastr today, and you can experience the same ease in producing your own high-quality podcast as we do each week. Go out and share your ideas with the world.
It's so easy, even I can use it.
Yeah, there you go. That's the sale right there.
So Persson releases Minecraft on the TIG forums. And one of the really nice things about doing research from games in this era, when the internet is in full swing, which we don't do a lot of, as you know, is that things from that era still exist. Like, historically, they still exist. The post of Minecraft, the very first time he releases it to the world, May 17th, 2009, at 4:24 a.m. It still exists. It's titled Minecraft, parentheses alpha, lowercase alpha, and it reads, it's an alpha version, so there might be crashes. You can read some background and insight on my blog available from the game page. The main inspiration for this game is Infiniminer, but it's going to move in a more Dwarf Fortress way gameplay wise. 12 minutes later, the first reply. Muku writes, oh hell, that's pretty cool. I just dig around in the ground a bit and suddenly I'm in this underground cave. Great sense of exploration already. After talking a bit about the performance of the game, Muku asks, I'm interested in hearing what you plan to do with this. Will it be multiplayer? A few other people jump in and then Notch responds, I plan on having several game modes, and then he lists them. They include a creative mode, a survival mode where he includes the fact that you need to eat in order to survive. There is a team survival mode, same concept, but with people obviously in teams. And then there is a plan for a fortress mode, which is where you have two large fortresses in a large map, and there are things you can do on it, like capture the flag. So some of that stuck around, huh? Like eating, I guess?
Yeah, survival and creative are two of the main modes in the game
Yep,
today, even after all this time.
even after all this time. But definitely no team survival. I mean, multiplayer, it's all team. You can team up if you want. Definitely no fortress mode, though. So from there, a conversation ensues about the game and his plans and and its performance, which includes screenshots. 49 minutes after he posts the link, that first replier, Muku, posts what might be the first ever user shared screenshot of something in Minecraft. It's a single block wide stone bridge, only 4 blocks off the ground. And if you scroll through the 123 pages of this post for the Minecraft original, we call it the classic version now, there's plenty of interesting anecdotes. 20 hours after launch, forum user Turbo Brother describes the first giant penis probably ever created in Minecraft. It was such a thing of awe, he said, that Firefox decided to pack it in before I could snap a shot of that mofo.
Pack it in, huh?
Pack it in. It was such a big dick that Firefox crashed before he could take a picture. Because it was
Sounds
Java.
about right.
This was Java. This was Java, right? So the web browsers were dictating the performance of the game back when.
Dictating.
In that 123 pages, that original alpha post, it's obvious that Persson was taking feedback from the community and changing things as he went along. And now Ryan, circling back to the name RubyDung, why didn't he stick with it? He tucked into his development blog his idea for a name of the game. He wrote in a blog posting, "The awesome but insane people in the TIG IRC channel." Do you remember IRC, Ryan?
I sure do. Couldn't tell you what it stands for.
Did you chat internet relay chat? So, I'm a dork. That was the first instant messaging, like before there was instant messaging, wasn't it? Like IRC was the early one.
Before AIM?
I'm pretty sure AIM and IRC are they're definitely the same time. I would venture a bet that IRC came first, but I don't know for sure.
Damn, I just know that the AIM chat room is where boys became men.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Those two were pretty close, and then a little bit later was ICQ. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I definitely remember ICQ.
No.
Well, IRC started, it was introduced in August of 1988. So
I think that might predate.
Yeah, I'd say.
And AIM software came out in 1997.
Yeah, little bit. Little difference.
Yeah.
Little bit. So that name that they came up with was Minecraft : Order of the Stone.
Oh, that's just waiting for an epic movie guy voice. Or it sounds like almost like a Harry Potter movie, right?
It does sound like a Harry Potter movie. Absolutely. So this early alpha version, we now call it the classic version, the Java version. Over the next year, Persson continued to make updates. Versions through this period that he came out with include the survival test, InDev, Infidev, and finally, on June 30th, 2010, he released what he considers the first major update, which was an official alpha version. By this point, it was obvious that Minecraft was going to be something special. So Persson moved back out of a full-time role at J-Album into a part-time role in order to spend more time developing the game. And by now, people were picking this up, purchasing it. This was early access. We'll talk about that in a moment. Purchasing left and right. There were tons of fans of the game. And among the fans of the game was the team at Valve, no less. The game distribution network / game developer. I don't even think I'm going to call them a game developer anymore. That's not true. They came out with Half-Life Alyx a few years ago, didn't they?
Sure.
In September of 2010, Persson was invited to Valve's headquarters, where he met with the president, Gabe Newell, our Lord and Savior, and took part in a programming exercise as a job interview of sorts. Afterwards, he was in fact offered a job at Valve and gave it some thought, but he decided that he really wanted to give Minecraft a go So he turned down a job at Valve and stuck with Minecraft. Probably a wise decision at this point, huh?
Mayhaps.
Maybe.
In hindsight, for sure, but I mean, Valve was a pretty storied developer at the time.
That is very, very true. You are 100% right about that. So in December of 2010, Minecraft moved into beta status and began to move into other platforms that included mobile. In January of 2011, it reached 1 million registered accounts. 6 months later, 10 million registered accounts.
Damn.
Right? So
That's explosive.
people were buying this at an insane rate. But by this point, Pearson was really getting burnt out of just working on Minecraft. And he wasn't the only one. You know, he had founded Mohang Studios, and there were other people that worked on it. One of the other people that had been co developing Minecraft for some time was Jens Bergensten. And at that point, Pearson transferred creative control of Minecraft over to Bergensten and began working on another project. Bergensten, as a side note, he was the lead developer of Minecraft for quite a while. Today, he's the chief creative officer for Mohang Studios itself. So, not too bad, right?
It's a little bit of a good position, you know.
But let's be honest. By this
Not bad for
point,
an indie
though,
company.
yeah, a little indie company, not bad. Let's be honest, though. By this point, it didn't really matter who was in control of Minecraft. That 6 months, 9 million accounts, 9 million copies sold in that 6 months is insane. And it was pretty obvious that Minecraft at this point was taking on a life of its own, right? It is easily now the best selling game of all time. It has sold reportedly around 300 million copies since its official release date, which was in November of 2011. Now, to put that in perspective, I said earlier that Grand Theft Auto 5 was the second best selling game of all time when we were talking about Grand Theft Auto. It has sold 195 million copies. So Minecraft has sold over 100 million copies more than the next closest game on the best-selling games of all time list, which is insane, right? Rob, do you ever feel weird about that? You ever think about it?
I mean, I do not think often about it. I know a lot of people who have played or still actively play Minecraft. It's definitely a larger number of my friends than play Grand Theft Auto 5 or had in the past. So it's not surprising. I mean, I can understand the appeal. I just myself never got into it.
And that's why I asked listeners, in case you're wondering. So Rob and I have never got hooked by Minecraft, which is weird because it's in our genre, which is survival games and building games. And there are a lot of other games that are like this that we've gotten hooked on. But for some reason, Minecraft's never gotten its hooks in us. I've dabbled in it. I played it a little bit in the last week just to play it again. I still can't get hooked on it for whatever reason, but it's fun. I also get the draw. But I will say that for me, I do feel weird. It's the most popular game of all time, and I can't get into it, which is, I don't know. It makes me feel not good.
Some of that's just when it came out and where you were in your life. You know, it it on the face of it, it seems very kiddie, right?
Yeah.
But it really underneath, it's just kind of super accessible if you want it to be, and so that's a lot of the appeal. Anybody can pick it up, whether you're you know 8 or 80.
Well, so I will segue that into going, Ryan, you play a lot of Minecraft because I see you playing Minecraft.
Guilty as charged. It's funny. I remember hearing when I first heard about Minecraft. back when it was starting to blow up in the 2010, 2011 era.
Yeah, I'd say that was when it was introduced to me too, so fair enough.
I remember hearing about it from Penny Arcade. There's a Yeah, it's like, oh,
That's familiar.
what's this about punching wood? And I mean, back when I was growing up, if you wanted to punch wood, you just go out in the forest. But here, anyway. At the time, I didn't really pay much attention to it, and really only got into it. Let's call it 5 years ago, really, when I started playing with some offspring.
When I
That really
started
sounds
playing,
off. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
your kids. You play with your
playing the
kids.
game with my kids.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, so I've probably played this more with my nephew than I have by myself. So I definitely think it's a generation thing. My nephew is what, 10, 11, somewhere in there. So I mean, right, it's right in that time period, right? Like, I mean, it's definitely a generation thing. So I understand. You might be right. We might have just been just past that period, I guess, and then playing with youth have dragged us into it.
Everyone currently like graduating like high school and early college, all those people, theoretically, grew up playing this game. It could have been a very formational game to them, which is kind of bizarre to think about, but it came out in 2011.
What do you like about it? What's your style? Are you a play to the end type person, or are you like I like to create things type person?
Yeah, both. I do see the appeal of the creative mode, where you have access to make anything you want anywhere. You still got to build it and kind of construct the blocks, and it's almost like kind of like a blank canvas, right? From a creativity standpoint. Oh, I want to go make houses or whatever, or I want to make this cool mine, or as one of the first users did, make a big brick dick.
We have one of those in Michigan.
Indeed, I'm very familiar with it. Then but then there's a lot of appeal on the survival too. Just and that's it's a little bit more interactive. You gotta take shelter, consume food to keep yourself alive, fight off some really gnarly looking creature designs too. Like the creeper is just an iconic you know enemy design.
Is that the ones that keep blowing me up?
Yeah, that's right. They come at you and
Yeah. I've I don't get it because like when this was really popular, I was hooked on Terraria, right? I mean hooked. Like it's still one of my games on my, let's call it, top 5 hours put into a single game list easily. And it was always the 2D Minecraft, right? That's how Terraria was described so often. This is a 2D Minecraft, 2D Minecraft, 2D Minecraft. And
oh
I
yeah,
have done all the things in Terraria. You played Terraria with me.
definitely feels like they share a lot of DNA, even if it's only theoretical.
Right. And I don't understand why taking that same concept to 3D just never got its talents in me. I don't know. By all accounts, I should be in love with this. I should be in love with this. I'm not picky about graphics. It's not the graphics that turn me off. I don't care about the graphics. I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it. So
Yeah, it, my experience with the game, it's multiplies. The fun is way enhanced with playing with other people.
which is something I haven't done a lot of, so that's probably part of it for me. So since its official release, which was November of 2011. It's called version 1.0, the Adventure Update. There have been countless free updates. The game has just grown larger and larger. In fact, we're about to get the 21st 1.21 update next month in June called Tricky Trials. So they're still adding content to the game. And of course, we would be remiss if we hadn't mentioned that the game has kind of changed hands during that period. In September of 2014, Persson posted a tweet where he asked a corporation to buy his share of the game after receiving criticism for enforcing terms in the end user license agreement, the EULA, which had been present in said EULA for the past 3 years. So he basically tweeted out and said, I'm tired of criticism. Someone buy my shares in the studio. And at the time, I think that he owned like 71 or 73%. It was early 70s of the studio, right? Shortly afterwards, the CEO of the studio received a phone call from a Microsoft executive asking if Persson was serious about the deal. In fact, a few studios, Microsoft, Electronic Arts, Activision Blizzard, they all reached out and was like, you serious, dude? And Persson was, in fact, serious. Microsoft won the bidding war, and on the 15th of September 2014, Microsoft announced that they had bought the studio for $2.5 billion with a B dollars. And
Jesus.
with it, the intellectual property rights to Minecraft. That made Markus Persson pretty much a billionaire overnight.
That's
Crazy.
insane.
Isn't that crazy?
I remember hearing the news and thinking that is such a ridiculous sum of money.
I know.
Way more than, that's clearly, they got their head where the sun don't shine.
But do they?
Yeah, they've probably made that much just in merchandising.
I know. It's crazy. That's a good segue. It's hard to really talk. I mean, we can't begin to understate the significance of the best-selling video game of all time, right? You just can't do it. It sold 300 million copies. It's in the World Video Game Hall of Fame. Historically, it was one of the first successful games to use an early access model to draw sales into the development of the game. So, gee, thanks for that, Notch. And that pretty much showed everyone that early access is a viable sales model, right? And now everything is early access. I mean, that's the way they do it nowadays.
True that.
From the cultural standpoint, as Ryan put it was crazy. It's still crazy to a certain extent. In 2014, just to put into perspective, Minecraft was the second most searched term on the entirety of YouTube. Not just the gaming portion, the entirety of YouTube. Think about how many things you can find on YouTube, how big it is. Minecraft was the second most searched thing on there, period. And it's definitely been the biggest draw on the gaming side of the platform for quite some time, right? I think as late as I was looking at statistics, as late as 2018, roughly 2019, it was still the top game on the platform. I honestly didn't look to see if that was still the case today, but it's probably still up there to a certain degree.
Probably Fortnite's up there.
Fortnite is definitely, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Whenever Fortnite took over, what came out, that's probably when it started to fall in significance. It's hard to go anywhere now that has video game anything, as Ryan said, and not trip on merchandise for Minecraft, right? I mean, there are books. I literally see like blank diaries with Minecraft on the cover. There's I mean, what, figurines and plushies and t-shirts and
Audiobooks, school supplies, bed sheets,
is
backpacks.
there a cartoon
Yes.
now? Like, is there a cartoon now?
Well, no, they are making a movie, I believe, set for 2025,
Gotcha.
starring Jason Momoa and Jack Black.
Nice.
Okay.
I hear it's going to be a real blockbuster.
Oh no.
I hate this. I hate it here.
This guy. This guy. It's everywhere. I mean, Minecraft is easily one of the biggest merchandising draws in the gaming world. And Ryan's right that Microsoft has probably made their money back on merchandising alone. It has been good for more things than capitalism, though. Let's give credit where credit's due. In 2011, there was an educational organization that called themselves Minecraft EDU that was formed with the goal of introducing Minecraft into schools. They work with the studio to make the game affordable and accessible to schools. And you might be asking yourself, why would you want Minecraft in schools? The version of Minecraft EDU, that they make available to schools includes some unique features that allow teachers to monitor students' progress in the virtual world, such as receiving screenshots from students to show completion of a lesson. There have been a wide variety of educational activities that involve the game that have been developed to teach students about various subjects: history, language arts, science. For example, there was one teacher who built a world consisting of various historical landmarks for students to explore and learn about. Another teacher created a large scale representation of an animal cell within Minecraft that students could explore to learn how cell functions work, which is pretty cool. I mean, kids are interested by video games, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely. I actually knew a guy in college who his thing was he would build, I can't remember the name of the company, but the Titanic, those uh
my
Dreamliners, whatever you want to call. He actually built the Titanic in Minecraft.
That's cool, actually. I've seen it all. People have recreated cities and worlds and the solar system. Like what people have made in Minecraft is nothing short of amazing. It is literally, if you could think about it, you can do it. And it even goes further on the educational front, because eventually they did an update with blocks that could be used to represent electrical circuits. And so when they did that, which are redstones, users have been able to build functioning virtual computers within Minecraft, like working hard drives, an 8-bit virtual computer. They even developed a smaller scale version of Minecraft that is playable inside Minecraft.
I
Nice.
love it.
I know. And then they came out with a command block, which is a creative mode block that can alter game logic, and people have used the command block to create emulators. There is an Atari 2600 emulator and a Game Boy Advance emulator that can also be played inside of Minecraft.
Oh, much more than that. One of the coolest projects that I've ever seen for Minecraft is someone recreated all of Pokemon Red on a Game
in
Boy
in
in
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
That's nuts.
It was fantastic.
That's nuts. So this is definitely a game that is just larger than at this point, right? It's not just a game. People create things. That's was one of the I read an early blog post, or an interview rather, where Pearson was asked about how games will separate the creative mode from the survival mode and what he thought about that, and he said he hated it. He didn't want them to be two separate concepts. He wanted one to be lean into the other, which is essentially what Minecraft has become, right? Like, I know we have a creative mode and a survival mode, but the truth of the matter is in order to create things in Minecraft, you don't have a level editor. That was really what the question was, right? The game itself is the level editor. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Minecraft's just huge. It even has its own convention, Minecon nowadays. So it's insane, and I guess not surprising considering that 300 million copies have been sold. But yeah,
And I misspoke earlier. There actually was a Netflix series, Minecraft Story Mode,
yeah,
which
I
was
thought
a
so.
adaptation of the Telltale game.
That's right.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I thought that there was a cartoon already. Just I wasn't sure about the movie, so you got that one. So
The movie was not just a joke. It is, in fact, coming out next year.
But it was a great joke.
So Minecraft is a fantastic game and has lived on. And Microsoft owns the studio now, and the studio still exists and is obviously, like I said, still working on Minecraft. We're getting an update in June of 2024, in a month or so. But realistically, Persson, he's a dick. I'm not going to say it any other way. He's a dick. He's done all sorts of dick things on the internet. In 2017, he proposed a heterosexual pride holiday, and he wrote that everyone who opposes a heterosexual pride holiday deserved to be shot. He was going off the rails in 2017. He also tweeted that feminism is a social disease, and he called a feminist game developer the C word.
Jeez.
He also tweeted that it's okay to be white that year, and that he believed in the Pizzagate theory.
I mean, nothing wrong with believing in Pizzagate.
In 2019, he tweeted in support of QAnon. So he is
a piece of work.
Yeah, he's a piece of work. Pretty much as a result of all of this, you really don't hear him talked about in reference to Minecraft in any way, shape, or form. In fact, in 2019, when Microsoft celebrated the 10th anniversary of the game, his name was omitted from the credits in the celebration, and he wasn't invited to the festivities in any way, shape, or form. Microsoft was very clear that Microsoft views are, his views do not represent Microsoft's views in any way, shape, or form. So they've distanced themselves from Notch every which way. He is very butthurt about it. As recently as 2021, he described Minecraft as being a dead, quote unquote, dead game. So, he's, again, a piece of work.
He can cry into his Cheerios, his
I know.
$1 billion Cheerios, right?
Well, I mean, he bought a house in Beverly Hills. He outbid like Beyonce for this mansion, and it was the highest priced mansion ever bought in Beverly Hills at the time. So, boo hoo, go be toxic in your own world, which is pretty much what he is. Back in 2015, he actually had founded a separate game studio called Rubber Brain, and literally earlier this month, on April 2nd, 2024, he announced on his Twitter that they rebranded themselves as BitShift Entertainment, and he started posting pictures of a little project that looks like Minecraft, but Doom. It's like a mix between the two. I don't know. I don't have any interest in supporting toxicity, so I mean, I'm not going to pay attention to it, but do with that as you will. So, and that is Minecraft, my friends.
A game that became so big that it found its way into Super Smash Brothers.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that.
Alongside such classic characters that, third party characters as Mega Man, Pac-Man, Sonic, and then the various Minecraft characters that are in there, Steve and Alex and the zombie and the Enderman.
That is very crazy to think about. I had completely forgot about that.
It's a very small group of characters, including Snake from Metal Gear, and a bunch of very well known characters, and then the Minecraft characters are probably the most recent, or the newest in terms of creation.
So many games have referenced it in the meantime. I remember when Borderlands 3 came out, or 2. Was it 2? It might be 2. When Borderlands 2 came out, there is a whole hidden cave section that is done up like Minecraft. Looks like the Minecraft voxel graphics, has creepers in it. Like literally a whole hidden section inside that game that's Minecraft inspired. And I
South
know-
Park did an episode called Informational Murder Porn, in which the adults had to learn to play Minecraft to get access back to their informational murder porn.
And that was a great episode. All these references to Minecraft back in the day, that was definitely in the style at the time.
Definitely in the style at the time. Yeah, I mean, culturally, it's one of the games that has influenced culture more than many others.
Undeniably.
Many others.
If you're interested, I've prepared a Minecraft limerick.
Oh, oh, oh! Now we have guests coming prepared. I don't know if I'm getting. I like this. I was going to say I don't know if I'm going to get used to this, but I do like this. All right,
Let's hear it.
Let's hear a Minecraft limerick.
In a world full of blocks, we aspire with creativity that never tires. In Minecraft we roam, building castles our home, where imagination's flames burn like fire.
Okay, that was classy.
Yeah, it was.
That was very classy.
That's how I do it.
No, that's not how you do it.
I was waiting for the ball to drop, and it didn't. Like, that was impressive.
I know. I'm the same way. Like, I was waiting. Where's the twist? Where's the giant cock? I mean,
you think I'm nothing but jokes. These jokes, you just think they never end.
There it is. Oh, way to bring it around. Okay.
Hopefully, we're close to the ender now.
Oh, man. You guys are just nailing it. I mean, block by block, we're just breaking it down. Whew. It's good times. Good times to be had by all. Ryan, have you finished the game?
I have not myself done it, but with the kids, yes.
So you guys have beaten it. So what is that? Beating the Ender Dragon? Is that the end? So and so, like.
Yes, yeah, and the journey to get there, you got to jump through a bunch of hoops to get to that point, to travel to that realm. But yeah,
Gotcha.
A lot of fun times there.
Gotcha.
But
right.
probably.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's not a game. It's kind of like GTA, right? In that I've played GTA 4. That we talked about that earlier. I've played that for dozens of hours. I probably made it 10% of the way in the story. I just dorked around. That was how I got my enjoyment. Similarly, I'm sure a very sizable portion of the population, the 300 million, probably haven't even, even attempted the dragon.
Right. It's probably true. It's 100% true. I mean, I can say the same about Terraria. I've put 500, 600, 700 hours, I think is what it is, I have labeled in that game. And I've never finished the end game content. I've never beaten the last boss, if you so to speak, of the game in any way, shape, or form.
Me at Ark.
Yeah. You and Ark. Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah, 100% you and Ark.
I think I had like 1,000 hours in that game before I ever even attempted a boss.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Minecraft has a lot of great stuff. We talked about a few other games, Infiniminer. In the beginning, we talked about Grand Theft Auto, the second best-selling game of all time, and Spider-Man. And there's some other fantastic stories to be had in gaming history. And of course, if you're interested in learning about any of them, we have a whole archive, 190 now 2 episodes that can be found on our website, which is www.memorycardlane.com. Rob, tell them what else they can do on our website.
Well, you can find a calendar of our future episodes. You can find a link to our Discord where you can continuously tell Dave how wrong he is about everything and anything that he says. You can find a link to our Patreon where you can help support us and get access to ad-free and unedited versions of our episodes. Hear all the belching and farting that goes on behind the scenes. And you can also get access to our social medias where I am on several platforms as Rob_O_Raptor and Dave.
I can be found on various platforms as Dave is wrong _ wrong. Yeah, that's where you can find me. Ryan, people aren't going to find you. You hide from people.
I'm a ghost. You'll never
You
find
are
me.
you are a ghost. Each week, we will tell you a story relevant to the current week in gaming history. It can be about a game, console, technology, just some topic that I deem relevant to this week. I kind of made it this week. Let's go with May of 2020. May. We'll just go with May. It's going to be May. In doing so, we hope to teach you something new about the game, the topic, rather, what it took from the world as its inspiration or what it gave back to the world in its legacy. The point is one of the reasons why I like doing this every week is as I sit down to lay out every episode, my goal is always to learn something new and find something that is probably going to be new for you, dear listeners, as well. And that's the fun of it. Honestly, it's getting to find new things and learn them and teach them to you. It's a fantastic cycle of learning and teaching and teaching and learning and learning and teaching. And in celebration of said cycle, we like to talk about what we've learned every week. So, Ryan, I'm going to start with you. What did you learn today?
I've never heard the phrase RubyDung before today, and I'm fascinated.
Why RubyDung?
Why RubyDung?
I have no clue, to be honest with you. But
You
it
thought it was good
literally
enough, but then you didn't stick with it.
Well, he probably got some good news from the proctologist.
it there's screenshots of RubyDung online. Like literally, you can pull up his old Tumblr blog and look at the origins of it and see screenshots. It's really fascinating to me. My favorite part was getting to see the beginning, right? Like it still exists. There aren't many games. I don't know if there's been any game that we've done so far in 192 games that literally you can go and look for yourself the moment it was introduced to the world. Like the original blog post in the forum is still there for everyone to see. And you can see the whole conversation that Notch had with people. The second person to ever comment on Minecraft was the developer of a puzzle game called English Country Tune. Like there's so much interesting history mixed in to those 123 pages, and you can see people like post screenshots as they learned how to play the game, and models got more and more complex. It may have started with a bridge, but then it was castles and other geography. It was just it's so cool having it right in front of you. Like obviously we talked about it before. That's my favorite part of doing the history, when I get to go back to the original documents, the manuals or development diaries or bibles as they're called, game design documents. That's fantastic. And this was just there. Like it's just there. It's fantastic. Rob, what about you? What did you learn today?
I'm with Ryan on this, RubyDung.
RubyDung? You like RubyDung?
That is fantastic. It's just the creative name and how that ended up becoming Minecraft. It's such a drastic difference in names, but you just got to wonder, where did it come from and where did it go?
I haven't the slightest clue, to be honest with you. I don't know where it changed or when it changed, or by the time he posted on the forums, it was Minecraft. Eventually, they decided they were going to call it Minecraft Order of the Stone, but thankfully, by the time it was a thing, they ditched the Order of the Stone, obviously. I don't know, but I will tell you that, like, Infiniminer looks like an early version of it. I am interested, Rob, when we're done with this, we should really go look at Wurm Online and see, because I don't know. It looks like it's something we might like, actually. And I know we've been floating a little bit on games. I don't know. It was a good time. Good time to be had by all,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Ryan, you
thank you.
good?
Yeah, thanks for the invitation, and glad to share with the community and learn more about Minecraft.
I mean, if you're gonna come with limericks, I have I have to invite you. So, and bad jokes. I mean, great
Good
jokes.
jokes.
Great
Yeah.
jokes.
Just
Yeah.
jokes. Yeah, just jokes.
Jokes. I mean, your
Thanks.
presence alone. We're dumb.
Next
Did you know that?
next time I'll do a haiku.
Next time it'll be a haiku. I think that next time we'll have to find the next time. I think it needs to be a sonnet of sorts. So,
Okay.
okay.
Isn't that the thing you wear on your head?
Yes. Yeah, you wear sonnets on your head. You got me. I don't know how he's going to do that in podcast form.
Well, we can record an up to 4K video with our guests, thanks
We
to
can.
Zencaster.
At zencaster.com/memory card lane. Yeah, I gotcha. Awesome. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have you. And yeah, that's all I have. I really have nothing. Once we get rid of this, just so listeners know, I'm going to tell him no thanks, never again, just to be clear. I think you should know I like being honest. So, stupid limericks. Before I take it out of here, Ryan, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I really want to know where my 5-timer jacket is. It didn't deliver on time.
Oh, this is number 5, huh?
This is.
Congratulations, 5-timer. That's impressive. That just means you're the most persistent with me. No, I'm just kidding. Rob, how about you? Is there anything you'd like to add to today's episode?
Well, as always, I do want to say thank you to all of our listeners. It means the world to us for having you here, and we hope you enjoy learning about some of your favorite or least favorite games. And also thank you to Ryan for joining us. It's awesome having you here with us and being able to keep Dave on his toes with me.
Well, on that note, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Minecraft, a game that has truly transformed a generation of gaming with its simple yet profoundly complex mechanics. Today, we've stacked up not just blocks, but also insights into its interesting history. Next week, we're going back, though, to the roots of digital creation to explore early game creation software, such as the pioneering game construction set, the arcade machine. We're going to take a look at all these do it yourself gaming solutions, basically in the 80s. We'll explore how these foundational tools empowered early generations of game developers to translate their imaginations into interactive experiences without needing to have deep programming knowledge, which democratized game design and paved the way for user-generated content. So if you thought that building a castle in Minecraft was fun, wait till you see what we can do with a few lines of code and a whole lot of floppy disks. Join us next week as we unpack the pixels of the past and celebrate the software that started the indie gaming revolution on next week's trip down memory card lane. Do the thing.
Dibba-dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum-doo-ah-da.